Welcome, everybody. This is the North South Kids podcast.
Wow.
Holy shit.
I like it.
It's incredible. So basically we're just doing this podcast for fun, just to see where it goes, and we'll just see what happens. We're going to have some fun topics along the way, but I mean, I guess just as an intro to our podcast, I guess people need to know who we are and kind of all that good stuff. So you want to kick it off?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Cool. Well, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Alex McKee, from Orlando originally. 20 years old, so I'm a young boy. I guess within the Whaling Media Group, I'm an editor, so I'm the creative side of the whole process of things.
Yeah, give them like an idea of like what an editor is and what you do on a daily basis.
So the shooters, the producers, and the creative directors all put together a shoot for the week. And while that happens, in the room that we're in right now, the bullpen is where the editing team is at. So we crank out, you can't see the board behind us, but I'm probably making between 2 to like 5 videos a day. So for instance, like this month, I've done 50 videos just of content.
Just cranks out
Just
the work,
cranking
dude.
them out. So yeah, I'm literally today I hit my wall and I was like, I'm done. Like I can't do anymore. So I just edited photos. But yeah, man, our team is really starting to glue together really well and just, pumping out content for the team. And
yeah, man, it's crazy.
Clients.
We're up to 17 people on the team now, which has been just crazy to see the growth. Like literally
not even a year
last
ago,
year,
like 4 of us.
Yeah, were you on the team yet at this time?
I came on in April.
So coming up.
Yes, April something.
Okay. Yeah, so at this time, I think there was like 3 or 4 of us on the team, and which has been just insane to see.
That's
like
so
it grow to
good.
17 people. It's like, oh
I was
my
looking
gosh.
at videos the other day of like the old like space and everything, and we were just playing ping pong the whole time.
To give you guys like an idea of kind of like where we came from. So we started in like I believe it was like 1,800 square feet. So roughly like two of the sizes of the room that we're in right now, and it's been crazy like to expand into this space. We got here in October. It's about 10,000 square feet as the whole building, but we use about 6,500 square feet currently. And so we're already outgrowing this space. So we got here in October, but already looking to potentially move out of this building just because it's not quite fitting all of our needs that we need. So it's been really crazy to see everything grow.
Crazy. It's crazy the fact that we're actually moving, like thinking about moving again.
Like, dude, it feels like we just moved in here yesterday. But
October, right?
October, yeah.
So crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like we've been here forever. I can't even imagine being in the old space.
Oh,
it's so weird.
Oh yeah.
All of us in the. It's so weird.
So kind of going back to your story just a little bit, give people a background on just like, coming out of high school, your decision to, not pursue college, to potentially start here, like fresh out of high school, just having an opportunity to, go a different route than what most people are doing nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, it's really weird. I always like think about it. I talk to my parents all the time about it, or just even like think about it to myself. Like, it's 2020. I think the first time I picked up a camera was summer of 2018. So going to 2019. So I've only been doing like video stuff for like really 2 years now. Like really almost one full year of legitimate video work. I didn't really do a ton, which at this rate now, like if I feel like in my position, no one could get hired here like the way I got hired here. It just doesn't make sense at this point because we're so small. But I've also learned some of this is almost college for me.
Sure.
And better in my opinion. But yeah, so going into my freshman year of college, I did a gap year in Missouri, and just met a bunch of people there really. I want to say there was 60 of us.
So a gap year like was not a thing when I was a kid. No. Like I have no idea what that is.
Well,
so explain it to me real quick. Give me an idea. Like obviously it's a year off of school.
So the organization I did it through is called Kanakuk. It's like a Christian camp ministry in Missouri, all throughout Missouri. And they do summer camp, stuff like that. So example, a lot of sports athletes go there. Tim Tebow went there, Johnny Manziel went there, just a bunch of guys went there that you probably never heard of. But yeah, so I go there last September till April. And so we go there, kind of like build a foundation of your faith, sort of kind of like meet people, hang out, travel a lot. Spent some time in Europe last year. that's a story for another time. But yeah, I met some people. The first day of class, I sat down next to one of my best friends today, and he's just a stud at basketball. And I was kind of getting new into the whole camera thing, and I was like, all right, like we were talking. I'm like, yo, let's do a video one time. And he's like, all right, let's do it. So we went to the gym, shot, and it turned out pretty good. Like it was pretty good for like one, not knowing crap about camera settings, not knowing crap about anything. But just like the boost that I got from that, like he was like the first person that like told me like, yo, like you could do something like in the creative industry, like the film or whatever. I'm like, nah, like can't really make any money in it. There's nothing. That was my opinion. Like I thought I was like just chasing money and whatnot. But yeah, he told me that I could do something with it, and I was like, nah. So we just kept making videos for fun. And then for some weird reason, I reached out to Chandler. And for those of you who don't know, Chandler's my cousin, so we were already on like a talking basis.
Yeah. And also the CEO of Welling Media.
Right.
So just to throw that in there too.
Yeah. And so at the time, you weren't even involved in it. I don't think.
No, I mean, we've always
Mango.
had like discussions about me coming on board, and I'll give that story here in a minute. But at the point I was not involved in the company.
Right. I think it was still 321 Mango.
Yeah, it was still 321 Mango at the time.
Okay, so yeah, so I texted Chandler. I don't know why I had no reason to text him, but I just texted him like, hey, would you like want to bring on an intern? I saw he was doing some creative stuff. I was like, would you want to bring on an intern for the summer? And his response back to me was, do you want a full-time job? I was like, what? I was like, what are you talking? Like,
just
I would move to Nashville.
Fire.
Like, that was literally his response. I was like, the heck? And so I was like, that's like almost too easy. And so I was like, I mean, I guess like, what would that look like for you? And we just kind of like chopped it up, talked about it. And he had no employees at the time, so it was like, hit or miss. Like, I might as well just try it. So I immediately called my dad and was like, yo, like, Chan just like texted me and asked me if I wanted to like move to Nashville. Like, what do you think? And like, when it comes to like decisions, and I like go to my dad usually first because he's pretty, wise in decision making. I was planning to go home and work as a real estate agent under his brokerage, and so it probably threw him off a little bit. And it was like kind of like I don't know if you want to call it like irrational decision, but it just was never a thought to go in the creative industry, or even move away from Orlando. And so I called my dad, and he was full on board with it. I was like, okay, was not expecting that at all. And so then I called my mom. I was like, hey, what do you think about this? And she was on board with it. And if my mom's on board with it, then it's like, all right, cool, I got to do it. Because it's mom. And so I texted Chandler back. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, what does that look like? And kind of just like, he didn't really know, because he really never thought about it. Yeah. But then we started discussing it. And that was in last September of 2018. And then just kind of along the way, you came along.
Yep.
I came in November here to visit, and y'all were working out of Marcus Suzanne's basement or bonus room. And we just messed around, did some video stuff, and then I was like, dude, I want to do it. So it offered me a job officially in March, and then signed in April of last year. So it's almost been a year since I signed my contract. Yeah. And then moved here, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's coming up quick, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That was a long story short.
Yeah,
that's all right. Short story long.
Short story long. That's all right though. Okay. It's a good one. Yeah, and I think one of the benefits of like just jumping into the workforce is just getting that real life experience right off the bat. Like I don't think that's replaceable by any means. Like, at the end of the day, like if you feel like you have a passion for something, you go and attack it. I don't think, especially when you're so young, like this is an opportunity for you to try, something that you might fall in love with, or maybe you won't fall in love with, but at the same time, it's like you're still young, and so like college will always be there. There's nothing wrong with starting college when you're 21 or 22. It's always a good fallback plan if you need it. But for example, for what you're doing, you don't necessarily need it. Like nowadays, it's like YouTube can teach you teach you everything you know.
YouTube or like Max or Haas or anyone.
Yeah, and you can get experience from other people, and so I don't even think a lot of our team has a degree in like graphic design or videography or anything like that. I think Haas has a little bit of a background. I think Max has a little bit of a background, but most of their skills did not come from school.
Got all the young boys too, that straight out of high school. So.
Yeah, I mean, we have 3 employees that are straight out of high school.
They're teenagers
that
still.
Yeah, that are teenagers still, that absolutely crush it on the creative side.
Insane.
Yeah,
It's like unheard of.
yeah, it's all about just, having a passion for something, and once you want to do it, you just have the
go
drive
for
and
it,
hunger
yeah.
to go for it. Like, you gotta be able to approach people and ask for it. So
You gotta take that risk too. I think there's a lot of reward in risk, and I was talking to my dad about this actually. Is like, this is a good year just to take some risk, especially for me. Like, my goal in 2021 is to buy a house. I'm like 21 years old. Like, buying a house, that's just, you don't hear about that
Yeah.
a ton. And there's just, there's a lot of reward. There's also a lot of risk in risk.
Oh, for
but,
sure.
You can't really gain much if you don't try a little bit. So.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I guess I'll tell
Yeah,
a
go
little
ahead.
bit of my
Give your
story.
background.
So I'm a little bit older than Alex. My name's Joshua, by the way. I don't think I've even said that yet. Josh Johnston from Michigan. So that's where we kind of came up with the name of this podcast, North South Kids. I'm from the north.
Florida.
Yeah,
Well, so.
Alex is from the south. He's from Florida. So North South coming together, and we're just some kids out here.
Yeah.
Just
Young
playing the
boys.
game,
Yep.
But yeah, I'm from Michigan originally. I did go the college route. Went to Grand Valley State University for 4 years. Got my degree in exercise science, actually, which is really random because I have no marketing background at all. And here I am, the COO of Welling Media, leading a team of creative.
Bunch of crazy boys.
Yeah, bunch of crazy people, but a bunch of creatives and, a marketing agency. But to kind of give you more background on that, like, Chandler and I got our start kind of in marketing way early on before I even got really into the fitness industry. So I graduated college, moved back home with my parents. At the time, Chandler was kind of attacking a new venture called The Lighting Firm, and this company was kind of like an up-and-coming thing. It's revolved around customizing headlights, but to make a long story short, we built this company up to I think we generated over $2 million in revenue within our first year of business, which was just crazy.
Ridiculous.
And at the time, we just didn't have much business sense and just did not have a mind for operations and scaling a business. And we oversold the company just drastically. Like, it was a complete nightmare on the production side of things, and ended up selling the business out of business just because we couldn't fulfill all the orders that we had. And so it was like a really tough lesson to learn early on, but definitely set us up for success in the future.
What year was that?
What year was that? I graduated in 2014, so it was probably late 2014 into 15.
I probably came when I was 14, turning 15. I came and worked with you guys in the summer. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were there or not, but
I don't think I was there. I think I would have remembered if you were there or not. But we got a lot of, we generated a lot of sales through our marketing strategy, through Instagram. And so that's kind of how we started this whole Welling Media Agency. Is like, we found kind of like this niche that we were good at, where we created content that revolved around the product, and it's what drove our sales. And so we found that, like, we were really good at selling the product, but we weren't so good at fulfilling the orders and doing the production side of things. So to put that in our back pocket, I left the lighting firm shortly after that, and then started at Fit Body Bootcamp out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Worked with an incredible team there for 3 years, just kind of developed my skills, one as a trainer, but also as a leader. This company was very, very into, developing their people and putting a ton of time, a ton of resources into each individual. Like, basically, like, you could learn as much as you could feed yourself, pretty much. It was incredible. And so I just was very blessed to work for a company that put a ton of resources into me, learned a ton about leadership, got around some really great professionals, and, left that company to come here to work at Welling Media just with a really good foundation. And there's been a ton of learning along the way, but, the reason I came on this team is because, I had a strong background in leadership, been leading a team for a while at Fit Body Bootcamp, and so it's not because I didn't have a marketing background or anything. Like, that didn't really play into it. It was that, I'd operated a business before, I'd led a team before, and so I came here to do that. And so and now I'm leading the biggest team I've ever led before, with 17 people, which is pretty crazy. But that's a super long story short version of everything, and I'm sure we can dive into more at some point in time, but kind of gives people a
this
quick
first
background.
episode's a little bit of like a, get to know his
Yeah,
background.
exactly.
It's not gonna, every episode's not gonna be like kind of dull and just talking about
Yeah.
us the whole time. But
Right, exactly.
we bring
But
some people on here as well.
you know, it just tells people like how we got here, and you know,
Yeah.
kind of what we're currently doing, and it just gets everyone caught up, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so, but yeah, so far it's been a great journey, and you know, getting to know Alex along the way, we decided to run with this podcast, and so I think the main objective is just to, you know, share with people our experiences. Like, I don't think we want to come into this podcast like telling people what to do, because you know, ultimately, like, there's a ton of choices that you can go either way. Like like the college route is like, you know, it works for some people, and other people doesn't work. And so, like, you know, I don't think we're coming into this podcast, you know, really like giving advice, really, but more like
Telling you
sharing
what you should do.
yeah,
or
more
what
like
you shouldn't do.
yeah, more like sharing experience, right? And
Yeah.
so, you know, at the end of the day, if you take a golden nugget from it, I think that's the main objective.
Cool.
And the greatest way to like get good at any profession is to practice it, right? And so, like, you know, if you're going to college classes to, you know, learn about videography, and you're like only watching videos on videography, and you're never picking up a camera, like, you're never going to get good at it. And so, like, you know, the term practice makes perfect. Like, it's, you know, it's really cliche, but at the same time, it's like,
No,
it's
it's
true.
real.
Like,
Yeah,
you
it's
absolutely have to practice. Like, if you don't pick up a camera, if you don't practice your skills, it just doesn't happen.
Right.
Like, you don't get good at it, and then, you know, unfortunately, like, those jobs don't pay well.
Yeah.
that don't
Of
require
course.
a lot of skills. So, you know, I think you gotta really pick what you know, you're gravitating to, and go and attack that.
You got to be willing to fail too. I think a lot of, like, I look at the stuff I used to make when I was in that summer of 2018. Like, it's
Yeah.
so bad, bro. Like, it's not even, it's really, it's just, it's not that it's corny, but it's just, there's nothing to it. Like, I just remember,
Sure.
I mean, I remember the first time I made a video, like the first ever video I made, I found it on, like, I don't know where I found it, but I put the video together. I put in iMovie, and literally it was just most simple, just clip, and then put some dope music. But like, not
Yeah.
even like good music, but like, I took my mic off my phone and I recorded it off like SoundCloud on my computer, and then I put it in. So it wasn't even like recorded audio. And it was so, like, the feeling I got from it, and seeing that I could just like record something and put it into like a movie per se, is like, that was like the coolest feeling ever.
Yeah.
And so as soon as I had that feeling, I was like, I want to keep doing this, but like, I can get better. I know I can. And then I just kept getting better and better.
Yeah.
You have to keep making something in order for it to be good.
Well,
Or-
it's gonna be like this podcast. Like, the
Yeah,
first
this first
episode,
episode's gonna
we're
suck,
gonna
bro.
we're gonna go back. We're gonna look at this and be like, oh my
This
gosh,
is
what
so
were we even
boring.
saying? Like, that wasn't even coherent.
course.
But as we continue doing it, it's like, you know, it'll get better and better. But well, I guess, you know, trying to just wrap up this first podcast here, because I think we're coming up on, you know, close to like,
Ranting and whatnot.
yeah 30-minute mark. You know, what are some of the things that you're wanting to talk about on this podcast?
I don't know. I think current events is fun, just like what's going on in the world,
Yeah.
but like keeping it like not political at all, because that's so boring.
Yeah.
And like no one
For
cares.
sure.
And then I don't know, just kind of what's going on in our life,
Yeah.
what it looks like on like the entrepreneurship, e-commerce side of things.
Yep.
/ bring on some cool guests just to see.
Yeah, I
don't know,
definitely
just
want
to
to bring
chop
on
it
some
up.
guests.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel like we have so many interesting people in our life. Like,
it would be
like
really dope.
this podcast is gonna be sick.
Yeah.
I'm super pumped about it. Definitely talk about fitness a little bit. Gotta do it.
Sports. We gotta do some sports.
Yeah,
and
some
once,
sports stuff.
Once NBA playoffs are coming around,
Dude,
and
when
March
NBA playoffs,
Madness,
oh, dude, it's gonna be
we
so
could
sick.
do a little like live bracket, like have people just
Yeah.
like join in our brackets and stuff like that. That'd be sick.
Yeah. Well, we'll mix it up. Like, I think that's what's gonna be cool about this podcast, is it's not gonna be like revolving around one topic always. Like, I think
Yeah.
we're gonna be able to
And
branch
again,
out and like
This
really
is
just
an intro.
yeah, this is just an intro, but really dig into like some of our passions. Like, both of us are super passionate about basketball.
Yeah.
So
We'll be
it'll be so much fun to talk about, you know, our brackets and like who we think is gonna go in
Yeah.
March Madness and
Just both very healthy competitors
oh yeah,
in
definitely.
the best way. So once I'm back and I'm healthy, I'm able to, clamp you up again.
Yeah, we'll play a little one
play a
on
little
one.
one-on-one.
We'll see what happens.
Sick, dude. Well,
Yeah, man, I'm pumped. This is gonna be sick. Great.
cool. Let's just
Yes,
wrap it
thanks
up.
for watching. Really appreciate it. You know, obviously follow us on social media. We'll drop some links somewhere in the video.
Wherever this is going.
Yeah, wherever this is going. We'll try to get this up on YouTube probably ASAP, and then probably do like
Spotify,
Spotify
Apple,
and all that stuff.
SoundCloud.
Yeah,
I
SoundCloud,
don't
all
know
that.
that, but-
Yeah, wherever you can listen to podcasts, we'll try to get this up at. So,
Dope.
all right, guys.
Cool.
We'll see you in what? We're gonna try and do this once a week.
Bi-weekly, weekly.
Bi-weekly.
I think
Okay.
we just
Yeah,
grind
maybe
it out.
bi-weekly to start. That way we can get the rhythm, and then maybe, once we get a good
Yeah.
template down, it's like, okay, now we find the rhythm.
And if you want to be on the podcast too, just like come
Oh,
chill
yeah,
with us.
yeah,
that'd be
for
cool.
sure.
Just
Yeah, shoot us
get
some
people out
DMs.
here.
Yeah, we're trying to get some intriguing people on here. So
Yeah.
more the merrier.
For sure.
All right,
Cool, dude.
sweet. Let's go.
See ya.